Nowadays, more than 90% of the world's trade and transport is carried by sea. And the southern North Sea contains one of the busiest shipping channels in the world, mostly due to its high concentration of ports. Each year, more than 60,000 ships pass through the Belgian waters. But the heavy fuel oil used in international water by those ships contains a lot of harmful substances like sulphur oxides, nitrogen oxides, and particulate matter. Shipping is responsible for around 13% of the global anthropogenic sulphur oxides emissions, and even 15% of the emissions of nitrogen oxides. These air pollutants have a significant impact upon human health and the environment. They cause acid rain and acidify the oceans. The particles have an irritating effect on the respiratory system, and particulate matter contributes to the melting of the ice in the Arctic. To limit this pollution, the International Maritime Organization established the MARPOL Annex 6. Enforced in May 2005, its aim is to progressively reduce the emission of sulphur oxides and other air pollutants worldwide. It also established the North Sea as one of the several special zones where the amount of sulphur dioxide emitted was even more drastically reduced. It was in 2015 that, to enforce the regulation, the Belgian Coastguard aircraft was equipped with a sniffer sensor to check in real time the sulphur content of the fuels used in the North Sea Secca zone. This information is then passed to the port state control, allowing a more targeted inspection of ships in the next port of call.
Hello, my name is Dries. I'm a Belgian Air Force pilot flying for the Coastguard.
Hello, my name is Pieter. I'm a pilot of the Belgian Air Force.
Hi, my name is Kobe and I'm an aerial operator for the Belgian Coastguard aircraft.
Hi, my name is Bart and I work for the Belgian Coastguard aircraft, and in a couple of minutes we will take off for a sniffer flight. The North Sea is recognized as a special area for sulphur emissions, where ships are only allowed to use fuel with a low sulphur content. Outside the Secca area, in international water, ships may use a fuel with a higher sulphur content, which is much cheaper. For this reason, sometimes ships prefer to use this cheaper fuel inside the Secca area. This is the sniffer sensor, which we are able to purchase with aid of the European Union. The sniffer sensor measures constantly carbon dioxide and sulphur dioxide, so when we fly through the smoke plume of a ship, a probe on the bottom of the aircraft sucks in the smoke plume, and based on a measurement of those two gas components, we are able to measure the sulphur content in the used fuel. Generally, ships are only inspected upon arrival in the ports, but with the aircraft we are able to inspect the ships at sea during their voyage, where the actual pollution is occurring. Besides that, we are also able to do much more ships per hour than which is possible in ports, so we are actually a good targeting mechanism for the port state control inspectors.
Before every flight, we're performing a calibration of the sniffer sensor. This way, we are sure that we have high quality measurements at sea in the field. We're all set up now for a sniffer flight and we're about to take off.
Tango. Post-send information. Tango.
Ben jij klaar van achter? Ja, ben ik klaar.
After takeoff in Ostend, we immediately start looking for targets and ships. I have a ship. The first ship that I see is in about 2 minutes. Pilots, we have the first target. Heading is 280. The target is in 2 minutes. The first ship is this side. We had a very good measurement of the first ship. Now I'm going to do a manual dioxide and carbon dioxide, and with the ratio of the two, we can get an indication of the fuel sulfur content of the ship. In this case, the result is 0.115%. This ship has a correct sulfur content. With the sniffer sensor, we use an error margin times 0.15, and with that level, we're sure if you're above 0.15 that you're sailing on sulfur fuel that is too high.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, the previous ship had a suspicious fuel sulfur content. That's why we were performing the second passage. We had a good measurement, and I'm going to control if we can confirm the first measurement. 0.17. This means that the fuel in that the sulfur in the fuel of this ship was too high.
Okay, so making a flight report about this observation. The flight report contains all information required to identify the vessel in the next port of call. The flight report will be sent to the port in control, and they will evaluate if it's opportune to do an inspection on board of the vessel.
We are now in the Westerschelde performing our last measurement. The next ship is the 20th ship that we will measure.
Ja, dat is een mooie. Dat zal dus zijn.
The Belgian Coastguard plane equipped with a sniffer inspects more than 1,000 ships each year. 90% of those ships were compliant with the regulation.
Belgium is the only country, together with Denmark, who is doing this type of operation, and that's why other countries, European countries, but also Canada and China, are very interested in our results, and they invited us to talk about our experiences. Belgium would like to keep its pioneering role, and that's why we are looking into installing a new sensor inside the sniffer to measure also nitrogen oxides, so that we can be ready for the NECA as well.